What's up, everyone? Trip6 here. So recently, I've been thinking a lot about how far I've come as a musician from where I started many years ago to today. This accounts for writing, singing, playing the guitar, and ultimately performing. Namely, the fact that I actually do now perform in front of people. 16-year-old me would be so proud. Looking back, I've realized that it's not really that I was incapable of doing so before, but more so that I was just so afraid of messing up in front of everyone, and the fear of failure really kind of had me in its grip. So much so that I never really even took the first step towards performing, aside from in choir performances. But in that time, it wasn't really that nerve-wracking because I was surrounded by dozens of other people doing the exact same thing. And this wasn't even only limited to music. It was also public speaking and speaking within a group of people for fear of how they might judge me based off what I had to say. You get the picture. But fast forward to now, and my band just recently played its third show. I actually enjoy singing karaoke in crowded bars, and I actually enjoy public speaking a lot. So for this video, I thought I would just go ahead and share how I've turned into someone who not only tolerates performing publicly, but actually enjoys doing so. So if this is something that you might be struggling with, then this video is definitely for you, and I hope it helps. Number 1, get some perspective. Look, I personally know how it feels to be gut-wrenchingly terrified before taking the stage. It manifests into uncontrollable shaking, sometimes sweating, and you get tunnel vision. Just nothing is feeling okay. But the thing you need to remember is that everybody has gone through that experience. Those you are about to perform in front of are included in that. So they will understand. And even if they didn't understand, then it's important to adopt the mindset of who the hell are they to judge? You have something to say through your performance, public speaking, singing, playing guitar, whatever, so own it. Besides, a tip that a public speaking instructor had taught me, which is both very comforting and true, is that you never look as nervous as you feel. It's true, you could be slightly shaking and people won't notice. Your voice could slightly tremble and most people won't notice. This tunnel vision of performance anxiety makes us think that everybody is keenly aware of how scared we are. It's just not true. Remind yourself of the entire perspective of reality and don't let that tunnel vision carry you away. Number 2. And this one is one that you've heard 1,000 times throughout your life, and it's going to sound kind of naggy, but it is really important. Breathe deeply. Believe it or not, when those nerves are all at their peak, you have the power to ease them to an extent by simply taking long, deep breaths. I was taught a truly life-changing trick called the 4-7-8 method. You deeply inhale for 4 seconds, hold it in for 7, and then slowly exhale for 8. This will bring your heart rate back to normal levels after doing it multiple times. And while you're doing this, it's important to focus on the breath. I know that the performance is at the front of your mind as well as all the fears that come with it, but it's really important that you focus on the breath solely during this exercise, as though nothing else exists. This moves mountains when it comes to calming both the body and the mind. Number 3, take a peek into the future. After this performance, regardless of how it goes, you will have accomplished the heavy, back-breaking task of stepping outside of your own comfort zone. Just think about how the feelings of pride and accomplishment will just shower every fiber of your being once the performance is over. How you'll go to sleep that night feeling like you could conquer the world after you finished what you are about to do. It's a challenge, sure, but you are up for it. Remind yourself of how much of a badass you already are by taking on a challenge that makes you feel terrified. Now, whenever I perform, before I go on stage, I always think about just how great it will feel after the performance is finished. And I'm never disappointed by that feeling. So it's really worked wonders for me and still does. And now, number 4, probably what has helped me the most. Understand, embrace, and step into the zone. If you are going to perform something, it's likely that you have already rehearsed many times what you are going to do. So when you take that stage, podium, or soapbox, perform just as you rehearsed. Think of it like this. You're not really there in front of a crowd. Instead, you're in the same space you were in while you're at home practicing. In other words, you're in that zone you created over your practice sessions. You're simply delivering your performance again. You perform this every single time you've practiced. You're simply rehashing what is very familiar to you by now through practice. So don't view it differently when you step up to perform. Now, that took me a long time to understand, and I hope I explained it in a way that's easier for many of you to understand. But once I did grasp that concept, it permanently changed my approach to performing in so many ways. And so, ultimately, the more you put yourself in these terrifying situations of performing, the more your comfort zone will grow and expand in turn. Like I said, public performance is something that I view to be a very fun thing that I look forward to now, and that evolution happened over the course of years. But the important thing is that you repeatedly opt into performing again and again, regardless of how terrifying it may seem. Each time you conquer that fear, the more you'll look forward to the next performance as your comfort zone grows. All right, everyone, that is it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys liked what you saw, please drop a like and hit subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next one.